Sometimes I get compelled to tell my story, and usually this is when I get an influx of asking, like, how did you do it? Or, like, what was your, like, giving up point? Like, what made you, like, click into overdrive and, like, finally lose the weight? And I will tell you that your entire life will change when you lose the weight. So the picture that you see, it's actually a video that you see me post all the time, is, like, my before picture. It was January of 23, and I was home by myself and the 3 kids. My husband was, I forget where he was, but thank God he wasn't home, because I was like, I don't want him seeing this. And I remember going in the bathroom, and I took a shower, and all of my kids were in bed, and I remember, like, getting out of the shower and just bawling my eyes out because I couldn't even recognize my own reflection. We as females sometimes lose ourselves in motherhood, and I had given all of myself to my kids for the 5 or 6 years that I was having babies. And with motherhood comes mom guilt and things like that, and you almost feel guilty for putting in any amount of work to yourself. And when you don't do something for a long time, you become comfortable, and you get comfortable in your ways, and that's just how I ended up. So after my sobbing, I just told myself, like, this is gonna be either freaking embarrassing a year from now when you see this and you got no progress going on, or this is going to be phenomenal because this is the end of this for you. And I took the video and I stashed it away in my hidden folder. And every month I would get in front of the mirror and I would do the same thing. And by the end of like a year, I was down so much weight that when I put them together, you could literally see my spark come back. They always say that flamingos, the moms, lose their color. They turn very pale when they have babies, and you can identify the moms from flamingos that didn't have them because they lose their pink. And I always say that I got my pink back, which is why pink is so big for me. It's in my branding, it's everywhere. Like, I am just a pink girl. The steps that I took to lose the weight, I pretty much changed every single aspect of my life. I had said, like, I'm so tired of my excuses, and living like this is hard, right? Living this way is hard. And I wanted to choose my heart. I said, it's not worth me living like this. So if working out and eating right is going to be hard, then I'd rather do that. I'd rather be on the opposite side of how I feel right now. And that's exactly what I did. But talking about, like, losing yourself in motherhood, because I had a baby during the COVID phase, I became so very scared of everything. And if you know me, I'm a big germaphobe. I've always been a germaphobe, but, like, excessive to the amount where I didn't even want to leave the house. And I remember I was a stay-at-home mom for those years, and I had started real estate in 2020. And because I had back-to-back babies from 21 to 23, real estate was on the back burner for me. I was strict stay-at-home mom because there was no way that we could afford the childcare of 3. So when my son was 6 months old, I took a job online, and it was kind of targeted towards, like, online like moms, stay-at-home moms, because they allowed you to do everything online. You were marketing for this major college, and you talked to people online. And so that's what I did, and I was only making $13 an hour. And at the time, I remember my husband saying to me, like, oh my God, Michelle, what are you doing taking this? Because you can roll pretzels at the pretzel factory for like $17. So you're taking less than minimum wage and you're doing this. But I took it and I ran with it, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot about online marketing. I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about just posting online and becoming a presence. And once my confidence was up, I was like, hey, I can work nights. I can make more money waitressing. So that's what I did. I waitressed, and I would go in around like 4 o'clock, and I was done by 9:30, so it worked for me. And I did this for a few months, and it was great because I learned my socialization skills in person again, because they were all so dormant from being a stay-at-home mom. Like, you got to think, for the 3 years that I was not working, the only person or people that I had interactions with were my 5, 3, and 2-year-old. And the restaurant that I worked at, the guy was a horrible person, and he was just nasty. And he used to just like flip out, like curse, and like lose his lid on everybody. But he never really did it to me until the one day that he did do it to me, and I had the confidence enough to walk out. And before I walked out, I had already had plans of going back and resuming my full-time real estate job within like the 6 months. But that day that he flipped out on me, I went home, I did all my courses to come out of referral, and the rest is history. But the point of me telling my story is simply to let you know that like what everybody perceives as what you are right now is not who you are a year from now or 2 years from now. Everybody wants to see the end result, right? Everybody wants that instant gratification. And to some, it looks like, I had this perfect life, but I really didn't. And I struggled, and I took a lot of steps to get where I am today. I have people who say to me like, oh, you took a shot to like lose the weight and you wouldn't have lost the weight otherwise. They don't understand that I'm in the gym 4 days a week, and the sacrifices that I make on a daily basis. They don't understand how I changed my life completely with my eating habits and things like that. So it's really easy to judge from like an outside point of view. And sometimes it's really, really easy to fall in the victim of like almost hating somebody because you think that their life was so easy or so perfect. And throughout all of this journey, I have gained so many different skills and have helped so many different people, not even just like real estate related. I help a lot of people with real estate, but I've helped people transform their life and have motivated so many people that I don't care what negative things that people have to say to me, because there's no better feeling than when somebody comes up to me and says like, I did this because of you, or I watched you 2 years ago and saw your transformation and you inspired me. And that's how I know that everything that I went through was supposed to happen the way that it was, and that I am so glad that I built a community with you guys. And if you are watching this and you find yourself victim to your own thoughts and feelings, just know that you, at any point in your life, can change, and you are stronger than any excuse that you give yourself. Those are limiting beliefs, things that you think you can't accomplish, you can. Things that people say you can't accomplish, you absolutely can. And to just keep pushing forward and making yourself a better you. I promise things get easier as you do them. You become like a master at them, and you can do hard things. Because if I can do it, anybody can do it, I promise.